previous session, we have covered everything related to the Git and the local repository. So, in today's session, we are covering how to create a remote repository and how we sync our local repository to the remote repository. Okay, so we are here using a BitBucket for the remote repository. So, just quickly, we will go through our previous sessions, one slide, that is creating repositories. So to create a local repository, we use a git init command for the creating repositories, and I will show you now how to create a repository for the remote location, which is the central location for all developers to access the latest code. So okay, so here is you can go to the bitbucket.org site for the pricing details. So Git is a open source tool, so it is a free, but Bitbucket is, we can say, it is a free and paid both. It is decided on our use. So as you can see on the screen, it is free for 5 users. It is, as it is given here, it is a free for up to five users. So there are three packages. It is a free one, it is standard, and it is a premium. So it depends which package to pick is depend on your organization and on your use. So if you are having a small team and you are using it for the your own, for the understanding and for the study purpose, and if you are having a team which is of less than equal to 5 users, so you can go for the free package and free plan. So it is giving I will cover that later. Again, it is a standard plan which is for the growing team. If you are not confirm about your team members, and the team size is less than equal to uh, uh, if you are not confirm about your users and unlimited users, so you can just go for the standard plan, and which is which cost you per user per month $2. So if you are if you have 6 users, and then monthly charge is $12, and after that third one is a premium. So if you are having a large team, so both standard and premium both are for the unlimited users, as you can see here. As you can see here, the unlimited users and unlimited users. So what is the difference? Because prices are different. So what is the difference in between the standard and premium plan? This we can check by going down, which is listed here, the difference between the packages. We will cover the free tier or free plan afterwards. First, we will compare in between both standard and the premium. So, standard are having these five, uh, we can say the operations, or the we can perform these operations only using the remote. But in premium pack, you will be covering, or you will be doing all these operations which are provided by the Bitbucket. So, one thing is important from the premium plan is merge check. So as we saw in the last session, from the Git command line, how to merge uh, code from different branches. So we can check that using the UI also, and require two-step verification if you want a more security. then you can go for the premium pack, which will give you the two-step verification. So after that, it is space wise also. So you can just go, if you go to the free plan, then this will not include the unlimited users, because it is just restricted to the 5 users. Yes, you can just, yes. And you can create unlimited repositories. Here the specific word is private repository. So what does this mean? So when you create a remote repository, so there are two types. One is public repository and one is a private repository. When you use a repository for your organization and for your own purpose, so that is having a sensitive and secure data, which may be your passwords, which may be your security keys, and database connections, database username, passwords, and host name and ports, etc., etc. So that is a secure code. Uh, when when you do coding and you are creating repositories, so that matters that if you want a public repository or private repositories. In any repository like GitHub, Bitbucket, you can create n number of public repositories, but there are charges for the private repositories. Okay. So here are the limitation of 5 users, but from the 5 users you can create unlimited private repositories. So when it comes that private repository, so the private repository is only accessible to that user only. It is not accessible to worldwide. But when it comes to the public repository, it is accessible to the world. So anyone can hack your code, anyone can hack your database using that code. So it is better to create a private repository. So it includes the storage. When you go for the free tier, it includes the 1 GB storage. When it is a storage standard type, then it is include a 5 GB, and when it is a premium, then it includes a 10 GB. Okay, so for now I go with the free plan. So I will just give you a quick idea how to create the account and the repository. Okay, so get started. For the free, you can just refer the bitbucket.org link. Yes, this is the link. You can just refer to this, and you can just create, you can just create your account and then your repositories. Okay, so just give your email ID, continue. It seems that I have already my account. Sign up with. Okay. So you just need to okay. Yeah. So I think I have already created my account, but no repositories are here. So I will just quickly tell you that if you uh, go to the bitbucket.org, then give your email. After continue, then give your password, and it will create your account, so you will be transferring to this to your this page, which you can see your profile. So first we will go through the dashboard. So here are the repositories tab, which will list your all repositories you have created already or you are creating. After that, the projects list. After that, the pull request. I will cover this pull request afterwards. This is one of the important part. So yes, we can see the BitBucket settings. Okay, in the settings, this is general setting, so you can set your avatar and it show you your username, password, etc, etc. After that, it is a email alias, or you can set your alternate email here, which will give you notifications as and when it required. I will show you the use of the email notifications. So it is configured already. You are watching this. It is showing currently 00. So I will show that later, how to use notifications on the repositories and pull requests. It is important part because every time you are not online to the Bitbucket and you are accessing the code, so you will get a notification as and when required if you have assigned any pull request or review, any merge. So it will give you notification regarding that, and you can just log in and check whatever notification is there. So the plan detail, as of now, it is a free plan we are using. Yes, one user on your plan, 0 MB file storage, because we have nothing created. So you can see the billing cycle or billing details here. Total bill is this 00 because we have nothing right now. So one user is there. See user. So you can see the users list, but if it exceeds to the 5 user, it will charge you as per their plan $2 per month per user, which is a standard plan. So you can just see these users. Currently, Deepika Joshi is the only user you can see here. Yes, so actions, view action. Currently, no action is given. Okay, we can see this as and when we go, how to assign permissions, how to give a admin access to one user, how to manage another user from the admin user. But I'm just walking you through the dashboard and the options we can use. So if we create a user, then it will show you here. After that, user group. Yes, here we can add a user and groups. Okay. Yes, we can add a user, then OAuth. So I will tell you this because it is some what required when we use the when we use the integration of BitBucket with the another tools. So when we are doing that, I will show you after in that session only. So yes, we will just these are the uh, basic settings we can do for our BitBucket. Okay, so creating, yes, so we are now creating our first remote repository. Yeah, just click on create your first repository, give the name. Yes, it is we can give the first repo. Okay, this is private. Please check this, because if we have not checked this, uncheck to make this private public. Public repositories are open source and can be viewed by anyone. And as I said, it is a risky and not having security. So please check this. By default, it is checked. If not, please remember to check this option. Okay, so if you want to include a readme file, then you can just include, or if you don't want to include, just don't include. Nothing difference. So version control system, as I said, it is a Git. So use this. If you want to write a description, yes. First repository of BitBucket for Git. Okay, so uh, yes, what is the forking? I will just cover it in some time. So just give you a brief idea about the forking. So allow only private fork. So we will keep that option because private is secure. So we will keep only allow in the private fork. So forking is like replica of your repository. If somebody wants, or suppose one user have created their repository, and he is using it for the permanent basis, and he or she wants that no one changes that code. So he and another user wants on the temporary basis want to use the same repository and codes for the temporary basis to do some POCs or some checks or some testing. So you can just fork that repository and give access to that user, and after his or her work, you can just delete that fork. So it will not affect your original repository. The changes in the forking is not affected in your original repository. So giving the forking repository is used for the temporary basis for the another users for the temporary stuff like testing, etc. So project management not required now. So language doesn't matter. Just create repository. Okay, so we are in the our first repository, as it says here. You can see name is first repo, and the log sign over there is shows as the private repository. Yes, so you can just, yeah, we have created our we have just created our remote repository. So just go here. I will show you. Yes, we have created the repository. So as I said in my previous session, Git init creates a fresh copy of local repository, but to clone the changes from, and if you are having a remote repository and you want that code of a remote repository to your local repository, so you can just clone that changes as shown in here. Yes, it is showing that git clone and the URL of your first repository from the git, sorry, from BitBucket. So if you are on the Windows, so use HTTPS. If you are on the Linux, then just use the SSH. So I am on the Linux, so I will use the SSH. So this is required if you have code on your BitBucket, but you don't have the copy of that code on the Git, that is on the local repository. So you can just clone that code, and you can check or have your copy from the remote to the local system. But here we have our copy of clone, that is the 3 files, and we just need to shift these files to our remote repository, that is from local to the remote. So yes, what it says is, okay, we don't want that hit dot readme and git ignore. So I will just quickly tell you what is the use of .git ignore file. It is a hidden file as it is having a dot in front of the file name in the Linux, and so it as its name suggests, git ignore. So sometimes what happen, we are having a code on our local system, and those code folders are having logs file, after that the artifacts folders, and some other details which we don't want in our local remote repository, but we want that on the local repository. So you just need to write the folder names or the file names in dot git ignore file. uh, for this you just need to create dot git ignore file, and you just keep the entries of the folder or file names you don't want on the remote repository to the dot git ignore file. And you all know the purpose of for use of readme file. Okay, so yeah, when as we see, as we know the use of git clone command to get a code from bitbucket repository, that is remote repository, to our local system, we use git clone. But what in the case of, we have already code to our local repository and we want to push that code to the remote repository? So for that you just need to add your remote uh, to your local system. So how we add this remote to the local system is having a command remote git add. This is the command, and after that origin. What is the origin? Origin is a alias for this URL. The command is having alias and after that the URL. So every time you don't want to use the big URL, and instead of this URL you can use the origin name or alias name. Origin is just a alias. You can give your name also, you can give the branch name also, you can give anything you want to call it instead of the URL. So we can quickly check. Yeah, so we covered the git init and clone. After that, remote. Yes, just I said like git remote add alias name, and you can cover or you can add the remote alias for the URL to your local system, which will be used in the further commands like alias name. Here for the pull the changes from remote to local, we need the alias name. In the pushing code from the local to remote, we need the alias name. Instead of writing or giving the repository link every time, we use the alias name. If you don't want to create the alias, you just write the link name here, link name here. But it is best practice and advisable to create an alias of your link, which will reduce your efforts. So to these commands will check the remote, if you have any remote or alias taken on your machine. So we will quickly check if you have any remote or listed. So yes, we don't have any remote or alias created, and yes, we will just quickly create alias. Just you can just copy this link because it is given in correct way, because it refers to the URL. You can just paste it. Okay, then you can again cross verify that you have added or not. Yes, what is it is showing? um for fetch, the first origin is there, and this link origin is a alias for this link for the fetch, and again origin is a alias for push instead of this link. Yes, so we have successfully created the origin, and this is a one-time task. If you want to add a remote or alias for another link, so you have to repeat this and just copy the command from here, Bitbucket dashboard, to your local repository, and just cross verify using this command, and it is done. And then okay, so we have done this. So we have these three files, and I want that file to the uh, here in the Bitbucket. So just and check on which branch we are, and you know the command to check on which branch we are. We are currently on the master branch, and we want a master branch code to be pushed on the here on the repository. And as I said, master is a by default branch created on the remote repository also and local repository also. So Bitbucket is having also having a master branch. So we can quickly check that branches. Okay, so it will be shown after we push the changes. Okay, just push the changes. Yes, a password. Yes, so to push our changes to the remote repository, we just need to copy this command and paste it here and enter, give your password. Yes, it is continue. Object 10 done, compressing object 100% done, and as you can see, to HTTP bucket new branch is created, and that is the master. This is our local branch, this is our remote branch, and it refers to master from local to remote. Yes, three files are here, so quickly go here and do the refresh. Yes, so you can see here you have three files, and here are the three files. So it is committed here, and this you can see this is the branch name, which is currently master. Okay, so and we have done our uh, push this push from the master branch, so it is only pushed master branch to the remote repository. Yes, from the slide. Okay, so we have covered adding to check the remote list from our to our local repository, adding the remote of remote alias to the local repository, how to push the changes from the local to remote, and now we can see how to pull the changes from remote to local. Okay, so you can let us consider a scenario that this code is done by one developer, and another developer is also referring to the same repository and the same branch, that is master branch. So how will you check or pull the changes the done by another developer to the remote location? Okay, so we are currently in the project code folder, so we will quickly create another project code, and we suppose that that is another developer's code folder. So mkdir project code 2, we will go to project code code 2. There are currently no files, so we are creating this as also a work repository, local work repository. So all we know that just do git init, it will create a .git folder, and which consists of our commit history, head, which is a branch, reference, metadata, everything, indexes. Again, we will quickly check any remote is added or not. No remote is added, so we can add get remote alias also. So we can give any alias. So we can give a dev2 and the URL. So URL from here we can clone, just get the copy. It is just the SSH copy. Enter. What happens? Okay. We don't want this. We just want the GitHub. Okay. Just copy this. So it is having the username, that is the Azoshi. Git. Sorry. Git add a remote. This is alias name and the link. So first one was right, I think. Git remote. Right. Yes, it is valid. We can cross verify. It will not be. Yes, step 2 is added because it is a dev. So we will just create dev 2 first.txt. Okay, dev 2 created first code file. We will check the status of our git. So it is untracked file. All knows that how to add this to the staging area, then to the local repository using the commit message. Yes, enter. We have successfully added. After that, we just need to push here. The alias name is dev2 push with the password. What happened? Think I think yeah, yes, this error helps. Yes, I just show you why this is saying. Okay, so we already have a code here in the in our local repository. We have 3 files, but when we push that, it is a best practice and must we need to fetch the changes first from remote repository to our local repository. Yes, it is, since it is a developer too, and we must need to pull or fetch the changes from remote location or remote repository to our local repository. So here the first question is, what is difference between the fetch and pull? So both are used to pull the latest changes from our remote repository to the local repository. The main difference is we already saw the merge, how to merge. Yes, and I have already told you what is the merge conflict. So to quickly brief you again on the same, merge conflict is if same file or the same code base accessed by and changed by multiple developers. So and one file is accessed by multiple developers and committed, edited and committed, so much conflict is there because system don't know which changes to commit and which changes to keep in the remote repository. So developer must tell the system or git to uh, to keep which changes in the remote repository. So that concept is called as merge conflict, and that merge conflict reflects in the fetch. So when we do the git fetch command, so it is compulsory that we must do the git merge after the git fetch, but when we do the git pull, it automatically merges the code from local to repository with the same file also. So when we say it is uh, when we say it is better to say like push or pull is a combination of fetch and merge. Like pull is combination of fetch plus merge, but but fetch must need a merge for to get all changes done. What this error says is it is rejected because fetch first, because it is not latest latest repository or latest changes of the repository, because it is having only one file, and we must fetch the content of remote repository to our local repository. So we can just quickly do, as our PPT also says, like we can pull with the alias name and branch name. Yes, so get full alias, our alias is dev2 and branch name is master. So type the password. Yes, so it fetched, or it pulls all changes from our remote location to the local repository. So warning is no common commits, so no merge has happened. Yes, this is saying refusing to merge unrelated histories, because we don't have any merge, or we can say just we don't have any merge or any commit from the dev2 related to these commits. Okay, so these are happened from the developer 1, and the developer 2 is not having any commit regarding this. If the developer 2 is having any commits regarding the old commits which are done for these three files, then there is must a merge conflict. But because there are no any common commits, so no merge is happened. So we can just say what all files are here. Okay, so we can just merge. Yes, after pull we are seeing the only one file. It need to be commit. Okay, we can just first see the status. Okay, nothing to commit. Yes, the get. It will just go through by creating file online here. Add a file. Just give a file name. We can give the fourth.txt. Yes, this is fourth file of code. Commit. We can do the commit also from the UI. Yes, the fourth.txt is there. Okay, so in source code you can see the fourth file also the 8 seconds ago, and this message is, so just go to developer one's code, which we can see this. Okay, so how to pull the fourth file fourth.txt to local repository. So you can just use pull and the origin, which is the alias for developer 1. Yes, so you can see this is fourth.txt is there, one file changed, one insertion from the branch master. You can just do ll and you can see the fourth.txt is here. So we learn both the ways how to do a pull, that is cloning or checking out code from the remote repository to the local repository, and how to push, that is how to push the code from local repository to the remote repository. The rest everything we have covered already. Okay, so we can just quickly check the log, and this is the log. Origin and master. Origin master, this master is our local master, and this origin master is the alias, which refers to the alias, and which is we can say this remote repository, because we have set an alias for the remote repository, and this is the remote master. Both are in sync because both are pointing to the same commit message. So we have, okay, we quickly get a look. Yes, it is the end of 5 WQ. Okay, so as you can see, we get branch. So here are two branches, but on the remote side, we don't see any other branch. Only master branch is here. So how to push the branch? Okay, so go to the Git branch. We can say the checkout branch name, which is the first branch. We are switched here. Okay, so we can first pull the changes. Git origin, not master, it's a first branch. Okay, the password. Okay, find remote reference. Find. Okay, git push origin. Okay, yeah. So we can say refresh it. And we can see the first branch is here. We don't need to pull the changes from master to first branch, because here we previously we don't have the first branch, so we can't pull the changes from a first branch to first branch, remote to local, because we don't have the first branch on the remote repository. So just push the changes as we do here, as we did here, like push changes. Origin is a alias and first branch is a branch name, so it get pushed the code of first branch to the remote repository with the branch name. So here are the three files which we refer for the master branch, and if we go to the first branch, then we see only three files. This is the difference. So we can just go to the branches, and you can see the, okay, you can create all branches. Yes, this is a first branch and this is the master branch which is shown. This is the main branch, and you can create a branch from here also, as we created a file, and you can create a branch from here also, and you can just pull that change here too. So in commits we can see the commit messages. Okay, So it is the commit. These are the commit messages. 4 commit messages. We have created this online with the Bitbucket and these 3 files from the local repository. We have get and push to the Bitbucket repository. So I think all you got the clear idea about how to create a repository and how to create a repository in Bitbucket and in local repository. So how to clone a already existing copy of Bitbucket in the local repository, and how to create a fresh copy in the local repository, how to create or add a remote of the how to add a alias of the remote repository to the local, and how to push and pull the changes. We already saw the difference between pull and fetch, and all rest part is already covered in the previous session. So that's it, guys, and I think you can create a repository in Bitbucket with the reference of this session, and you can track the commits and branches also from the local repository to the remote repository and vice versa. Thank you for listening to this video.